Memories. When I was younger, I took a job at a deli that had what the owner called an ice cream buffet. On Thursdays, children would get a free ice cream cone with their meals, and they could pick any one of the 15 flavors we had. There were many times when a child had some understandable degree of difficulty selecting their preferred scoop, but eventually each kid would happily make their choice when the mom or dad urged them along, except, that is, for one little girl. She couldn't have been more than 6, and when her father picked her up so that she could see through the glass, her face lit up as her eyes moved over all the different kinds of ice cream that were on display. When her dad asked her which flavor she wanted, she must have ignored the fact that he was not speaking about a plurality of scoops, and she excitedly named some and pointed to others. Gradually, the realization began to set in that she could only choose one kind of ice cream, and as I watched her try to pick just one flavor, I could see how anxious she was becoming. It wasn't greed that beset her. It was the result of wanting many things equally, but not having the emotional resources to settle arbitrarily on just one. As the anxiety consumed her, she began to cry. There was no tantrum. She didn't yell or pout. She simply could not choose. As her father was comforting her, I caught his eye and made a gesture. He nodded, and after a few seconds I leaned over the counter and called to her as I extended my hand. The little girl looked up to see me holding a cone, towering with 5 different scoops of ice cream. Her mood was transformed instantly, and I can say, with all sincerity, that I have never seen another human being in such a state of pure jubilation. The father thanked me and saw to it that the girl did as well. They left, and we all moved on with our lives. That was years ago, though my mind returns to that day for different reasons now and again. Most of the time, I just think about how happy she was, but sometimes I think about how, despite her seemingly limitless joy that day, in all likelihood she probably doesn't remember me or the ice cream. This doesn't bother me. As children, we have terrific and terrible times, events that, as we experience them, seem to be the most important things that have ever happened to us. But more often than not, we forget them. Truth to tell, at any point in our lives, we've forgotten more than we know about our own history. The world moves on, and so do we, and what was once important fades away. But that's just the nature of memory. The events of our lives unfold linearly, but in the mental reel of these past experiences, most of the frames that haven't been completely stolen by time are left distorted and blurred by it. When you try to reconstruct the series, you find that it isn't complete, but maybe this never really bothers you, because you can't miss what you don't remember. We all have voids in our narratives, lost time that we attempt to reclaim with best guesses. Most people have whole parts of their stories that they don't realize are patchworks of guesswork, and those who do realize it aren't likely to care. We want so badly to be happy, to live the kinds of lives that we always hoped we'd live, that we give gifts to ourselves by remembering things not as they were, but as we wish they were. Our loved ones pass away or simply leave our lives forever too soon, and we think to ourselves, I wasn't ready for you to leave. It just wasn't time.